Hi everyone, I hope you're all well and enjoying the conference thus far. As Tumi has said, my name is Tebogo Motsepe and I'm part of the Nedbank marketing team, looking after corporate and investment banking as the head of brand and client insights. Over the last 16 years, I've worked across multiple categories, from FMCG at Mars to telecoms at Vodacom, and currently in the financial services sector. Now, as different as all of these categories are, they all have one thing in common: the importance of marketing to all of these enterprises. Now, more than ever, organizations are paying increased attention to the efforts of marketing team. And this level of scrutiny brings a desire to please our internal stakeholders in the interest of getting our work done. The end result is we end up with work that feels uninspired, and we as the marketing team feels like we're not in control. And this brings me to my topic, the topic of this talk: how to elevate ourselves and our craft back to the level we all believe they should be, back to where we have the impact that we had in our dreams, and ultimately feel like we have control and are able to navigate the matrix that we find ourselves in. You see, in 1999, the Wachowski siblings gave us The Matrix, a revolutionary sci-fi narrative. It was the rebirth of a very old idea in modern suits, sunglasses, and hip leather trench coats. Man, when I looked at those guys, I really wanted to be in that matrix. But the idea that they spoke about is that this world that we find ourselves in has been pulled over our eyes, that there's something better that we've forgotten about just on the other side. And most importantly, it is up to us what we do with this information. I don't know about you, but I hate the idea that we as marketers are not in control of our work. But it's not that we don't have control. It's more that we gave it up. When Morpheus met as marketers working tirelessly inside these organizations, does this have an element of trust, of truth? Do you feel what Morpheus is saying? Well, I did. What you tend to find is we gave up that control. What we set out to do versus what we find ourselves doing end up not being the same. And really the idea of this talk is to get to a point where the ideal that we dreamt of and the reality that we find ourselves in actually merge and become one. Now, I'm going to have a candid conversation with you about some of the things that I've been doing in my environment to get to a better place. They're by no means a prescription, but what they are just honest and candid ways in which I have been trying to make my marketing a lot more fun, a lot more engagement, and in the process help me to become a better marketer. You see, similar to what Morpheus did, today I'm going to give you an option. You've got two pills. You take the blue pill and the story ends and you continue as is, doing the uninspired work that you find yourself in just to please the powers that be, but constantly feeling like you can do better, or you want to be empowered to do more. Or you take the red pill, and as we work out together how deep the rabbit hole actually goes, we get to the end of the tunnel and we remember what we've always known, that marketing is more than a function. It's a calling. And in actual fact, we are the connection that our organization needs to the target consumer that is out there. So, when I started marketing back in 2005, I came into the marketing environment as a graduate. And when I came into my job, I had high ambitions of making breakthrough marketing campaigns that deliver commercial success to the organization and also get recognition from the marketing fraternity for amazing and excellent creative and execution. However, over the years, that spirit, that desire has forsaken me due to the endless pressure of wanting to satisfy the business versus doing what's right for the brand. In this instance, the idealism that I had in me was crushed by the pragmatism that I found myself in. And during these times, it's actually easy to fall victim to that. But today, what I want to talk to you is how we as marketers have to take control back and do what's in the best interest for our brands, our consumers, and most importantly, our organization. You see, the matrix we now find ourselves in is one full of measurements, product houses, excos, and steercos. Each and every one of these people have their own mandate. For them, they don't understand the connection between business performance and brand performance. And to be fair, why should they? It's actually not their job. But we are the ones that are in this matrix. And we need to figure out ways to navigate them, to get to a better result, to get to a point where we can feel that our jobs are starting to have the impact that we once thought they would be. What we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you what I believe to be the ways in which we can navigate this matrix. As I've discussed, businesses are made up of a variety of different people working towards a common goal, independently with their own specialized roles and function. As marketing, our objectives are to tell the brand truth, engage emotions, and inevitably assist the business to achieve its strategic objectives. To achieve this, we need to place an emphasis on being able to clearly articulate the brand strategy to our internal audience. This is what I call intercepting the interference. You see, most of the time, we like to tell the creative story, but forget to tell the brand strategy. And by doing so, and focusing more on the brand strategy, we're able to link how the creative output is going to enable the organization to achieve its commercial objectives. And that's very true. So, in closing, the next thing is, once we've been able to articulate these ideas to our consumers, to our internal stakeholders, we're able to show them how our creativity is an enabler to them achieving their objective. The second pill, then, at Castle Milk Stout, the next story that I want to tell you about is when I was at South African breweries. I was part of the team that was responsible for the relaunch of the Castle Milk Stout brand. Now, if you remember, Castle Milk Stout used to be seen as an old brand for old guys living in rural areas. But the mandate that we had was that we had to reposition this brand and make it a premium brand that appealed to a younger consumer in the urban areas. The end result is we developed a campaign called Castle Milk Stout Unplugged. Now, this particular idea was very far removed from where the brand was. But because of South African breweries, they placed a great emphasis on brand strategy. It enabled us to move the conversation from being one that was very subjective to one that was very objective. And hence, even though the exco at that time was far removed from the end consumer, they were able to understand that the data and the insight that we were providing would result in the campaign achieving its objective. So, just to wrap up, I want you to remember three things. Know the requirements of your internal audience. Secondly, speak their language. And most importantly, demonstrate how your campaign will enable them to reach their commercial objectives in a very impactful way. The second pill is how to assemble your ambassadors. You see, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys actually read the emails that you get in your inbox from the desk of the CEO? I'm sure that many of you guys actually do that. Well, that's because some of us are too busy with our day-to-day activities that we don't pay attention to that. Now think about using that single form of communication as the only way in which we're telling our internal staff members about our next marketing campaigns. It doesn't make sense. One of the things that I truly believe in is that we need to put as much emphasis on our internal marketing activities as we do to our external campaigns. I mean, research has proven that 92% of people trust recommendations from people they know, whereas only 32% of people trust ads. 50% of buying decisions are actually influenced by word of mouth. Now imagine that power when you galvanize your staff and you make them brand advocates. The power of that is endless. And it reminds me of a story that I once heard about NASA. When they were working on putting the first man on the moon, if you ask any NASA employees what it is that they do at the organization, they all said one thing, that their job was to put a man on the moon. Now imagine having that kind of belief system in the work that we do as marketeers. You cannot buy that kind of advocacy, and we need to harvest it. Secondly, I want to talk about empirism versus emotions. You see, as much as marketing is a very emotional subject, but it's still a business function. What we tend to do as marketeers is that we rely too much on our gut instinct instead of focusing on the data. We rely too much on the heart instead of focusing on what the brain says. And this is very important. We need to get to a point where we start to embrace data. It was funny listening to Sydney speaking about how data can be used to actually formulate an opinion and make sure that your non-marketing executive actually understands what you're doing. This will enable us to move away from seeing internal stakeholders as people stopping us from achieving what we want to do, but actually bring them on board and see them as enablers for us to achieve what we actually need to do. Now, this example, Now, I want to talk about a campaign that we did at Nedbank, Money Secrets. You see, at the time, we understood that we need to move the brand in a different direction. We need to change the narrative around the brand so that South Africans can start to reframe and see the brand in a different way. So we use data to inform our strategy. That South Africans, regardless of race, gender, income, or status, have serious money management issues, which they keep as a secret because they feel ashamed to share them with their loved ones. The data points enabled us to unearth a powerful insight that drove our creativity to create stories that reflect the live experiences with which the most South Africans can actually identify with. You see, this approach enabled us to move subjectivity away when we're presenting the campaign, when it came to our internal stakeholders, because all of our decisions were rooted in insights which were derived from factual data. As a quick reminder,
I can't believe it's come to this. I used to be so happy. One mistake, and now it's all on the line.
To an incredible year, and to Zanelli. Couldn't have done it without you.
So what's all of this?
I thought I'd spoil us a bit.
It seems like it's fine, like it's no big deal.
Let's get out of here.
But it is. It's everything. And it can change your world.
I'm out there breaking my back every day to give you everything that you want.
This is not what I want.
I guess I thought I had it all under control,
Listen,
Don't touch me. Fix it.
but it got away from me.
There's nothing we can do.
You're not getting out of this easily.
I'm done. I'm done.
Tabang, it's Ben. I think I've lost everything. We're bankrupt.
Wow, what a great campaign. Now, since then, Money Secret has gone on to win multiple awards and gain us enough recognition within the marketplace to actually redefine how financial institutions communicate in the marketplace. But the biggest thing that Money Secrets did was actually inside the Nedbank organization. It fostered a far stronger, deeper relationship of trust between business and marketing. And later on, our CEO, Kensani, will have a sit down with our CEO to have a discussion about this particular topic. It's going to prove to be interesting. The final pill, be more to know more. So what do I mean by this? Well, you see, it is widely believed that the best marketeers are the ones with an FMCG background. Why is that the case? Well, simply put, it's because they're part of the entire value chain. They work with the guys in product development, in the R&D field. They work with manufacturing, and then they're part of the demand creation team with the sales and distribution. This breadth and depth of exposure and knowledge gives them enough credibility for FMCG companies to proudly say they are marketing-led. Now, I would like to applaud us to all do this regardless of the industry that we find ourselves in. Because if we take it onto ourselves to develop an intimate understanding of the business operations of our respective organization, we will build the necessary trust and credibility with our internal stakeholders. But more importantly, we'll be able to brief and engage with our agency partners far better, enabling us to create breakthrough work. So, as Morpheus once said, I can only show you the door, but you are the one who has to walk through it. You see, marketing isn't always going to be about big campaigns and big awards. It's also a business function with objectives and deliverables, and it should be treated that way. But this doesn't mean it can't be amazing. Every single day. It should be. And it's up to you what you do with it. So my suggestion is to pick one of these pills and start. And hey, maybe you might find these pills are not the ones that are appropriate for you. You might want to develop your own pills. But start. Take a single pill, and you'll see what it will do. It will open countless opportunities. And in the process, you will become a better marketer. You will enjoy your marketing efforts. And overall, your work will be a lot more relevant. I've run out of time, and I want to say thank you for listening. I hope you have found this discussion very insightful and thought-provoking. And during these challenging times that we find ourselves in, please take care of yourself and your family. Thank you.